Hi, and thanks for coming to watch this video from Carolina Varsity. Now we're taking a look at a 1A playoff game between Mountain Island Charter, who's going to go up and play Murphy. Jeff?
I got to see Mountain Island Charter last week, and between them and Jefferson, there were just athletes all over the field.
Yeah.
I mean, more so on Mountain Island Charter's side, but Jefferson also played a great game, had some athletes of their own. But one thing I noticed about Mountain Island Charter, they're not afraid to switch up. No matter who they're committed to on the roster, they're not afraid to switch up. Like at quarterback, they started off with Kyle Holcomb. They
Yep.
still played him, in spots throughout the game, but they decided they were going to have more success with the pre-Washington, with the matchup that Thomas Jefferson gives them.
Mm-hmm.
And both Gallman and Hager, they had well over 100 yards. Pre and Hager had over 200 yards rushing. I'd say that was almost 600 yards total rushes for Mountain Island Charter, but that was because Jefferson was pinning them deep, and that wasn't phasing Mountain Island Charter. They just kept on running at them. Good smash mouth ball. And
So a pre was more of a wildcat, is that right?
yeah, they had a pre at Wildcat mostly,
Right.
but he attempted a few throws too. So he's a special player.
Yeah, they're Holcomb. When I was looking at stats, so one thing people, and especially if there's anybody from Murphy, Mountain Island Charter, are you ready? You're sitting down, hopefully. Passing, they have 3,417 yards on the season. Rushing, they have 3,346 yards. So they have 6,700 yards, 6,753 yards. Is that what that adds up to? Yards. That's just outrageous. Kyle Holcomb, when I was looking, you don't hear much about him. And when I get communications to me, not a lot going on. He has 3,111 yards passing. Of course, they're going to have a 400 yards passing. He's going to have a lot. 39 TDs through the air. This is a team loaded with athletes. Pre-Washington, you mentioned him. He is their guy. 1,300 yards rushing, 800 yards receiving. But you know what? He doesn't just run and catch the ball. He's got 131 tackles on the season, 72 solo. This is a kid plays both sides of the ball, and he's everywhere. Just a fantastic ball player.
Got to make a correction. I said Gallman, but really it was Elijah Burris that was the third back last year that had the 120 yards.
Okay, and Burris has 838 yards on the season, 7 TDs. Gallman is more of a receiver than he is a runner. He has 1,135 yards on the season. I mean, they've got players all over the field making plays. When I looked at Murphy runs multiple formations. They run a lot of wing T. They run spread. They run some double tight end stuff as well. They passed a little bit more than I thought they would, 1,590 yards, which is for a mountain team's pretty good. Rushing 3,000. So you've got a big time offense going up against a fairly big time offense, but different styles of football. Some players for you people to take a look at for Murphy. Their quarterback Joey Curry. He's thrown for 1,527 yards, 16 TDs. He wears number 1. Their big rusher is Caden McRae. He has 787 yards and 14 TDs. Big time receiver for him is Colton Posey. He has 608 yards on the season, 7 TDs. And I always like to, if I can, point out defensive players or, especially defensive linemen. Number 76, Adam Powell. His coach says he's their best defensive player, but I didn't see him show up in the last game. I don't know if that's because his stats didn't get entered in or if he got hurt. But in their championship, in the game that won their conference championship for him. He mentioned that was his best defensive player on the team. Corey Farmer, number 54, he has 38 tackles on the season, 21 solos. So I think this is going to be a ball game of speed and athletes against power, smash mouth football. So can Mountain Island go up and respond to getting punched in the mouth? Because that's what Murphy's going to come out and do. They're going to come out and just try to be physical and play physical football. The stuff that I saw on them, that's what they do. That's what you do up there. And can the athleticism and speed, which Murphy's going to see speed like they've never seen before. This is a team loaded with athletes, and it may come down to coaches. And I think that's where it's going to come down to, is the coaching. Which coaching staff prepares their guys the best and can make the adjustments in game. Because I wouldn't just hand this game to Murphy, to Mountain Island Charter just based on their dynamic offense. The report says 30-26 Mountain Island Charter. So it's expecting a very good ball game.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Mountain Island Charter too. Based on the fact they got all those athletes, but I'll definitely go. I'll probably go like a 27-20. Along one of those lines. I think Murphy's defense is going to slow them down a little bit, but what will Murphy's offense do? That's a big question, because I think Mountain Island Charter's defense is going to make adjustments. Robert Washington addressed that after the game.
I think that I'm picking Mountain Island Charter mainly because of the athleticism and speed, and I think usually speed kills, and Murphy will find that out, and I think the game will not be as close as the report's predicting. I believe that we'll break 30. I think that Mountain Island Charter should get into the 30s. So, all right, there you go. Thanks for watching.